PKN 307.
Yeah,
looking good, matey.
yeah, feeling good, feeling scurvy, feeling
Love
real
the eye
good.
patch, by the way. You look like Solid Snake.
It is the Solid Snake eye patch. Yes.
Did you tell me that? And I'm not stealing valor.
He told us that. Yeah.
I've been stealing valor all week. I've been. Yeah. I tell everyone.
Oh, I was in Afghanistan, and now you're not going to give me a free value onion rings, ma'am?
Mm-hmm. I've been supersizing everything. Starbucks, they don't even know what to do.
No. Yeah, and because you're also faking a missing leg, that adds to it.
Yeah. You got
Lieutenant Danning around.
Yeah, I'm glad I kept that wheelchair.
No. I like applying stolen valor to just things that it doesn't at all mean. But yeah, you're stealing little pirate valor. It was so rough that you couldn't even do the show last week.
It was awful.
Yeah, tell us about that. You were describing it as the stitches scratching your eyeball.
So yeah, I have stitches going down. I'll show you on my good eye, like right down the center of my eyelid. It's stitched together in sort of this like serpentine pattern, and then I have another big cut on the outside of the eyelid, like going toward my ear for about 4 or 5 stitches because they had to get some slack so that they could connect the eyelid back together. And that one doesn't bother me a bit. In fact, he stitched it so well that it's mostly healed by now. I'll get the stitches out Thursday sometime. But the stitches that are on my eyelid are also in my eyeball. Like they're always on my eyeball. And when I close my eyes, like right now, this eye's closed.
Right.
But if I were to close this eye too, I don't know, if this one relaxes even more.
It triggers a touch, right?
It's more closed, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so when I lie down to go to bed, I get this like electrical impulse in my eyeball about once every 60 to 90 seconds that is so intensely painful that my hands spring out in front of me and go, ugh.
Oh,
and so,
Jesus Christ. That sounds awful.
And so that's when I text messaged you guys at like 1 p.m. was like, I don't think I'm going to make the show. Because like I was trying to nap through the day because I got the surgery at like 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m., something like that.
Who's up by then normally?
Me. I had been up since 6 a.m. just watching the hours tick by till it was time to fucking go get my eye cut in half. And yeah, it was just so fucking painful. And I was not gonna do any funny things. I was gonna sit here trembling and occasionally
go.
That'd be funny though.
That would be funny.
That sounds terrible. And there's nothing you can really do about that because you have to close your eye. And like when your right eye is like looking around, you're not like a one-eyed person, so the other eye's matching it. You know.
Does that still bother you now? Because the stitches are there now.
Oh yeah, stitches are still in there. It's still pretty rough. It's worst when I try to sleep. So I try to stay up really late and then get really sleepy, and then take some melatonin or something to really help knock me out, and then hope that I fall asleep quickly enough that that doesn't keep me up all night.
So we all know there's REM sleep, right? Rapid eye movement sleep. Mm-hmm. Do you wake up with some kind of soreness from that?
It's always pretty sore. It's pretty swollen. Like I've got like a black eye type thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm on a lot of antibiotics, and I put this antibiotic cream all over my goddamn eyelid like 3 or 4 times a day. When I wake up, it's really gunky. Like it's like the eyelashes are.
Your eye?
Yeah, but grosser. Like yellow stuff like in my eyelashes, and they're all stuck together, and I've got to like open them up manually and put eye drops in there, and then get a Q-tip and. Really carefully get all the gunk out of every corner of my eye.
The yellow stuff is the eye drops, right?
No. I think it's just some like pus and
it's just like pus and sleep mixed
eyeball discharge. I don't know.
My wife had. I think I talked about it maybe when you weren't there. She has really, really, really slow blink reflexes. You could just walk up and touch them and.
Hey, don't touch my eye. We'll blink.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, but so when she holds babies and stuff, she gets scratched a lot, and
yeah, those lightning fast babies.
Yes. So Anyway, so a bunch of times through the kids growing up and her watching other people's kids, she'd have like cornea. Is it cornea scratches?
Yeah.
And they gave her a numbing agent that was almost fluorescent yellow. So I thought you would have that similar type thing.
No, I wish they had given me something. They give me these numbing eye drops, like 3 rounds of that leading up to the surgery. And that's really just for the like prep, which is where they take a Q-tip and like roll my eyelid inside out, because that's kind of traumatic.
I've seen lots of 3rd graders that can do that too.
Yeah.
That always grosses me out.
But yeah, I got there and I waited for like 2 fucking hours to get in the like pre-operation room, and they stuck the IV in me and everything. And they were like, "Did you have anything to eat today?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I had breakfast." They're like, "What'd you have?" I'm like, 4 eggs. They're like, "What time?" I'm like, 5:30 in the morning.
Eat?
I'm like, I know that now.
I feel like eye surgery, you should be able to.
No, it's about the anesthesia. You can't. They don't want to vomit while you're intubated. It's a big problem.
Well, they didn't intubate me. It's about the airway collapsing potentially. And
did you lie about the 4 eggs? Was it more than that?
If you're under
4 eggs.
If you're under general anesthesia, there's a chance they might have to breathe for you, and they don't. That combines poorly with vomit.
Sure.
Who just has 4 eggs? You didn't have sausage or bacon or toast?
I have 4 eggs. That's my breakfast.
Okay.
And so, 4 scrambled eggs and a little cranberry juice. And so I'm like, yeah, I have 4 eggs. She's like, oh, what time was that? I'm like 5:30 in the morning. And then, it's like 11:30 now. I figure I'm good. It's been 6 hours. And she's like, didn't they tell you not to eat? And I'm like, no, they didn't. And they didn't, because the anesthesiologist called me like the day before and like went over a bunch of other stuff, asked what medications I was on. And I gave him a big list of that, because there's lots of things that you don't realize are anticoagulants, blood thinners, but they really are, like fish oil. Yeah, don't take fish oil before an operation.
Really?
It's an anticoagulant. Yeah. So, so I was like, yeah. I ate, and I hear them like talking about me over in the corner, like, yeah, he ate. And they're like, oh no. And I'm just like, oh shit.
Well, I certainly hope it wasn't anything more than 3 eggs. Well, I've got bad news for you, doctor. This gentleman had a 4th egg this morning.
He had the 4th egg.
They should have told you, because it's a really big deal. And so I've had a bunch of surgeries. They really, really stress it. Like they would have told you. I feel like I've been told 6 times before some of these surgeries. Like, yeah.
Well, in any case, so that made them push my surgery to like the last of the day, which for them in their day ends at fucking noon. I really, that's a pretty good gig, I guess.
They start at 6-ish, but carry on.
Yeah, probably so. But so do I. So they pushed me to the last guy, and so they're giving all these old lady cataract surgeries and shit, and I'm just laying there in the bed waiting for them to get started. Finally, they do. They give me the numbing eye drops for a while, and then they wheel me into the back, and I am terrified. I'm just so terrified of what they're about to do to me, because I know it was so painful last time.
I'd be nervous too.
When they put the lidocaine in my eyelid, it was so fucking painful. Driving up there with the Uber driver, I told her what I was about to get done, and she was like, "Ooh, yeah," and I'm like, "Yeah, my fucking eye. They're gonna cut it in half."
Have you thought about just taking chances with the cancer?
Yeah, and I'm like, yes, I have.
Apparently, this is the most bitch-made cancer ever. I could beat this.
I can take it. And so, they wheel me into the operating room, and it's legit scary operating room. There's big lights everywhere, and there's like a team of people. No, I've had, I don't know, 4.
Okay.
But it's the big lights on the ceiling, and there's 3 nurses and a doctor and an anesthesiologist, and they tilt me head down in the chair, and they like wrap a towel around my head and like secure my head like so that it can't move at all. And but then the anesthesiologist gives me some real good shit. I believe it was ketamine and what is that Michael Jackson drug? Is it propofol?
I always need your help on this, but yeah, it's close.
Yeah, it's the yellow shot in Tarkov.
Propofol, maybe?
It's the yellow shot.
I'm joking. I think it's propofol, not propofol. But in any case, they give me a cocktail of real good shit. and I just go loopy at that point. I'm fully conscious, but I talked to them the whole time. I was joking around and having a fun old conversation with them while they were slicing and dicing. And I remember maybe 20% of that time period. Like huge amount of time has been lost to me like during the thing. Next thing I know, I'm in the post-operating room and I'm showing two nurses FPS Russia videos of me driving through a house in an armored personnel carrier, which I never do. Yeah, which I never do. But I'm just like, yeah, look at that, we're driving through the house. Look at it. Driving through it.
So you weren't ever like totally under at any point. It was just you were so loopy and out of it that like you may as well have been. Yeah, no one was pulling, basically. Yeah. Yeah,
I was just sedated pretty heavily, I guess.
You didn't say before you were under general anesthesia, right?
They put it in an IV. And it's I wasn't unconscious. I was awake the whole time. But yeah, I would think that meets the definition of general anesthetic.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah,
local is when they anesthetize the area being operated on, which is what they did last time with the lidocaine. And general, I'm sure if they started cutting on my foot, I'd have had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
So
I don't know anymore. They have these drugs that wipe out your memory. So I've been told I had a local, and I'm like, what? I was totally out. They're like, nah, you weren't. Well, I have no memory of it. Like it almost seems like it doesn't matter how bad they hurt me if they wipe out the memory of it. Because they did give me the local as well. Because
a lot of pedophiles have the same opinion.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, it's looking pretty good now. I'm really looking forward to getting those stitches out Thursday. Every day it's a little bit better and a little less awkward to open this eye and use it. I still don't use it all day. I keep it closed probably 80% of the time. But if I'm watching a movie, I'll try to open it. And I try to keep eye drops in there to kind of keep it moist. But then it gets all runny and it's gross and sticky and it's a whole thing.
Now you have good eyesight. Would you say you have good eyesight equally in both eyes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, because for me, it's like, and Taylor might work with me on this. It's like, oh, I'm going to lose an eye. Well, this one's the reading eye. You know that, right?
Yeah, I would have also preferred to have my left messed with.
Yeah.
Goody? I can't lose this guy.
It's
I can't do anything. Also,
if the font's small enough, I just shut this bitch. He's only holding us back.
Hold out towards the camera, both of your fingers like this, and then far away.
Oh, I have glasses.
Farther away, and then touch him. Okay.
Pretty good.
You haven't had your impediment long enough for it to really fuck with your depth perception.
Also, his arms are the same length, and I think that's helping him.
Well, the camera's to the left, so I'm having to do a whole thing here. I'm missing a little bit. But
we need to throw a ball to him and see how it goes.
There's been plenty of things that I've done that require depth perception where I'm just like, oh shit.
What have you actually noticed realistically right now? Like any little tasks? I imagine mostly you're just kind of, healing, sitting around, not doing too much, right?
I tried to put like the cap on an ink pen, and I struggled with that pretty mightily. I had to like get it like close to my face and like do this number, like get it in like that. There's no way I was just gonna like, and I had to stab myself or something. Just like washing knives in the kitchen, just lots of stuff like that has been a bit of a struggle. Driving is weird.
Yeah, that seems like it would be.
I want to go back to the pre-surgery drugs because I'm a big fan. How long did it last? I've had surgeries where like they hit me right before I went under, and I'm like, well, that was a waste. I don't want to be high for 60 seconds. And I've had it where it goes like 15, 20 minutes, wears off, and I get a round 2. Where are you on that spectrum?
They gave me the stuff as I was laying in the operating room, like right before the doctor started. And I don't know how long it went on for. I would guess less than 20 minutes. Probably something like that. I don't know how long I was in the post recovery area. I have no concept of that time. Anywhere between 1 minute and 15 minutes, I would guess. But I don't know.
In the post-op, those post-op nurses are heroes to me. If you're feeling nauseous, They're Johnny on the spot. They get that fixed, and that's a problem that medicine has licked. If you're cold, they open up that safe of heated blankets and give you blankets like they're fresh out of the dryer, and they tuck you in like you're a baby, the thing like under your legs and hips, and it's like, I love you. You're so nice. Did you get that? Did you have that? Do you remember that?
I got a warm blanket, but like while I was waiting, but I was just like, I'm a grown man. I really don't want your warm blanket.
That really didn't satiate your anxiety. It didn't help you.
No, I didn't give a shit about the warm blanket.
How about your
frankly.
blankie?
Oh, it's not like that. It's gratitude. You grown men can feel gratitude.
The blankie had gotten like room temperature. She's like, you want me to warm your blankie back up? And it's like, no. Like,
well, if you're offering. If you're offering, it is your job to warm my
accidentally
blankie.
touch my dick again like you did earlier. You can do that, but...
No, if they were offering me a newly warm blanket, I'd be like, I wasn't going to ask. But if you're offering, I'm a huge fan.
I'll take another hit of that ketamine. But,
now you keep your fucking blankets. Just hit me with the drugs. So they only gave you one day, like the day of the surgery, of drugs to like take home and help you with the pain.
No, they didn't give me anything to take home.
Oh, so it was all just stuff that it was all remnant from the actual operation.
I mean, I was 100% sober an hour after the thing. Like I they wheeled me out to the Uber to leave, and I stumbled getting into it. And I was a little going up my driveway. I was like, all right. Trying to get the key in the hole. I'm just like, God damn it, this was not my day. But after a little while, I was fine.
Right?
And,
like you think your thoughts are 100% clear, like Kyle said, but don't drive yourself home, right? Like,
no.
it's like I feel like I could do well on the SATs, I think, but don't drive or any of that nonsense.
No, I knew last time I drove home, but I had just had a local. And they were just like, no, and you really need a ride home. She's like, you're gonna call an Uber, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, are you doing it right now? I'm like, yeah. I'm gonna go outside for a little while and wait on him out there, right next to my car.
So for the local, were you like actually 100%
right next to my car?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was just like getting like some dental work done. It was just basically some numbing of my eyelid.
Okay.
My eyelid was numbed, and then I had like, I don't know if I sent you the picture where my whole face. Yeah, I did, because that was me in post-op when my whole face is taped up and I got that goofy fucking look on my face. Like they like put a huge wad of gauze over the eye, and they like took masking tape and like masking taped half of my fucking head up with that shit, just like they did the time before. And I had to get that shit off after about 6 hours.
A lot of people asked how you were doing. And I wanted to show them the picture because you didn't look bad. You had like the eye patch on and stuff. But I was like, it's also not his most flattering pictures. And you know what our fans do with those.
It doesn't need to live forever or anything. Yeah. I've definitely got like a kind of about me.
Yeah.
Because I was pretty fucked up when I took that picture. I sent that to a lot of people. I found out later.
I shared it with nobody, Kyle. I'm not your leak. I don't know if it got out.
Any of the nudes you've sent me, they all stay right here.
Thank you.
Down.
So you were just on drugs, sending updates to everyone. Hey, did you know I used to have a YouTube channel? That's the funniest thing, is imagining you like slowly coming to, being like, and then we drove through a house, and where are we over? Is it done? What's happened? What am I doing? How many videos have I showed you?
They were definitely asking about it, because like there's a really, really hot nurse that works there. And I talked to her a lot last time I was there. She's married, but who cares? And she's like, I saw you the other day getting a haircut. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember you. I don't remember her. Yeah, you. And so we've had a nice talk like both times I was there. And we were talking about this show. She's like, yeah, I like to listen to podcasts. What's yours? And I'm just like, I'm with the anesthetic, I'm having a hard time remembering. You don't need to see.
It's 3 letters. It's called the Jerry. Pretty big deal.
Yeah, Joe Rogan Experience. Yeah, they CGI me up and make me look like an older guy. Yeah, change my voice too. Yeah,
change my voice.
Had Elon Musk on last year. It was cool.
I talked to Bernie. You just full on lie.
Just full on lie.
Everyone knows who Joe Rogan is, and they know you're just sticking to your
That's
gun.
Joe Rogan. Did you know that?
Yeah, no, Joe,
We've got your name right here, either. Kyle.
Kyle, that's my
non-de-plume
name. Yeah, that's my nondescript name for when I want a little privacy. You would not believe what it's. Yeah, just hold on to that lie. So, well, honestly, the worst part of what you said so far just sounds like the falling asleep. That seems like far and away the worst bit.
Yeah. The actual operation was no big deal at all. It's my eye looks gross right now. It's really swollen, and I'm so looking forward to getting these stitches taken out, because then I can go back to doing normal things and being around people. Because if you see a guy with a swollen eye, you're like, he had a little minor bump or something. Somebody punched him in the eye, maybe he does boxing, whatever. But when you look at my eye, you're like, shit, what happened? Oh God, are those stitches? I've been trying not to freak people out. So the neighbor's kids.
Show it right now or no?
Yeah, I'll show it. Yeah, it's fucked.
No pressure. I bet you're gonna look. If there's any scarring, you're gonna look much tougher. You're going to look like a real deal gangster.
Actually, it looks a lot better than I expected.
That's way better than it was before. I could, with your eye open, I could hardly even see. Or no, wait, I can see where that is.
I see that it's red, and I see that it's a little swollen. Some of you've got redness on where black eye would be, but I suspect that's from the patch. Then it would go away.
Yeah. There's some redness just from the patch, but it's really the whole side of my face is swollen. Everything is all the way down to here is much more swollen than this side. And I don't know. It's just very icky. There's a big cut right here.
But you're right. That looks like it's pretty much healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a good job with that.
There are some injuries that I associate with I don't know, aging or whatever, like a bad hip. And then some that almost seem like athletic injuries. You look like a UFC fighter post-fight to some extent.
Nice.
That's what is in my head.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, when I see the eye and cheek a little swollen, I'm like, yeah. They all put those on their Instagram 5 days later.
Yeah. So is that really annoying? Is it harder to keep both of them open than it is to keep them closed? This
one's just so blurry right now and hard to see out of that right now I can see very well, and now I've got double vision. If I've got them both open.
Does that settle down if you leave the patch off a little longer?
Yeah.
What a pain in the ass. That sucks.
I would prefer a pain in the ass. This is a pain in the eye.
Oh, no, I've had that. That's terrible. You don't want that.
Well, I totally get it. Because 2 days ago, or yesterday, no, it was 2 evenings ago, I was carrying a box too big to see your feet. And I was trying to go quick with it because it was heavy. And when you almost become a falling forward person, holding something heavy where it's trying. I didn't have any shoes on. I kicked right into a door jamb with my right pinky. And it's the blackest and purplest I've ever seen one of my toes, to the point that yesterday I was all right, time to work out. And my foot wouldn't fit in my workout shoes.
Oh God.
So because of my pinky toe. And so I was I entertained for 2 seconds being you know what? Lots of cool guys that are way better looking and in better shape than you just work out barefoot. Let's try it. And I did a little test, and I couldn't put it even just a tiny bit of weight. So I've been limping around like a retard, and hopefully today it wouldn't fit in the shoe either, unfortunately, but tomorrow I think it'll be good. I think I'll skip squatting and skip farmer's walks, and I
broke mine walking through the house barefooted, and the pinky, is out on the end, and it caught a wall. I'm walking past a wall, and it just caught the wall and bent straight out away from the foot, and it just goes snap. And I'm just it's the worst pain. It's so bad.
Oh, it was horrible, and it was late at night, and my girlfriend was already asleep, so I just
can't scream. That's what I was gonna say. In my case, it was the same thing. I couldn't scream, so it's just that hyperventilating sort of.
And it's an injury where immediately you're so mad at yourself.
It's a nonsense idiot. Injury. That wall didn't move. That wall's been here for fucking 5 years.
Yeah. No, first time you've carried a box around the house, you fucking retarded. Yeah. Oh, that's annoying. But yeah, it's still pretty fucking purple. in like that area.
Can we see
like
it? This isn't Twitch. Show your feet.
No, I'm not showing my feet. Talk about making memes, Woody.
I don't. Okay, maybe you're right. Don't do what you don't want to do. But I didn't. I showed my feet on Twitch the other day. They were,
but not. It wasn't the point. It wasn't like Woody's feet watching stream. It was probably they could see you doing push-ups bare feet, right?
They asked me about how running a mile a day for 30 days went. And I was just basically trying to describe like what got better, what got worse. Like my quads got better, my cardio got better. The muscle next to my shin, which might be a technique problem in running, like I don't know how to run, just got worse all month long. It just got more sore and more troublesome.
Like shin splints?
Yeah. So basically I put my foot on the desk and pointed out the muscle that runs parallel to the shin. And a handful of people were like, TOS, but...
Oh, the one where, like, if you point your toe straight up, it gets incredibly sore. Yes, those get so sore on me. Mine almost herniated once. Like, it just created a bulge, like a knot on the side. Like after after a long run, like toward the end, I've just got such it's like a weird shin pump. And like when I got home and took my pants off and looked, and there's just a knot, like a bulging, pulsating hernia on the side of my shin right there that goes away after 20, 30 minutes of not doing anything.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Like my calves improved all month. My quads improved all month. My shins just slowly got less and less able to do their job.
Have you ever had like a Charlie horse in your calf or somewhere? So like this was during our fitness competition. It was like me going from just weightlifting, no cardio, to like I'm gonna watch 5 seasons of King of the Hill and bike for 4.5 hours, no cardio in over a year, but I'm gonna do this right now. And I forced myself to do it, and I was like the whole time. That was also when I was like, the key to this: eating clean and healthy, and electrolyte drinks. I was drinking so many electrolyte drinks, I was shitting all the time, and I'm like, God, this is what's happening. I'm so hydrated, and then I looked it up.
I've had 2 gallons of Pedialyte today. Why can't I stop shitting?
Literally, I would drink there were a couple days I drink like 64 ounces of Pedialyte.
Oh my God.
It was way too much, and it really does. It gives you the shits. But anyway, I was after like a 5-hour bike session. I get in bed. I'm just so tired, and I just remember waking up to like my calf Charlie horsing so hard it like forced my toes to point down, and I was sleeping alone, but it was the only time I've woken myself up with the Charlie horse. And I remember sitting up going, Jesus. Like it was the most painful feeling in my leg I've ever felt. It lasted for like 3 minutes, slowly going down in intensity, but it was hard as a rock. And I don't know, all of that Pedialyte, which was supposed to be preventing cramps, must have all escaped my body in the form of liquid shit. that was so. Hey, some people recommend you drink about 20 ounces of this a day if you're doing really hard labor. Let's triple it, and that'll be 3 times as good.
Yeah, Joe Lozon like cuts weight and drinks a sip of water for 3 days straight, and then he has 1 of those. You're drinking half a gallon of it.
I'm drinking half a gallon a day, and that's in addition to 50 bottles of water or cans of diet soda. I'm back on my diet root beer grind. I've been having a lot of those.
I got some unsweet tea. I bought a gallon of that today.
Nice.
Kyle, have you followed the UFC stuff?
Yeah, it's huge this weekend. Huge fight.
Yes.
Masvidal. There's been like this big rivalry between Usman and Masvidal for a while. They've yelled at each other at events.
Yeah, so at the Super Bowl, these 2 guys met. And Masvidal is kind of known for getting into fights in inappropriate places, right? He holds a press conference. He's actually punching dudes. He goes to a nightclub or something. He's beating up civilians, right? This guy, it's actually one of the reasons I root against him. Because whenever I hear a story, oftentimes I place myself in this story. And when there's Masvidal beating people up who are like dancing or going to the bathroom, I'm not Masvidal in that story. I'm the dude who got to who just innocently walked into a bathroom, not knowing there's a professional fighter in there who just beats up anyone who walks through the door.
Yeah, you couldn't take that chance.
Yeah, they're like, how do you know he was even with the other people? Couldn't chance it. What? You're fucking Jorge Masvidal. You're fine. So anyway, he was at the Super Bowl, and he's there with Kamaru Usman. They're in the same weight class, kind of rivals. And he's talking shit, and Usman's like, do something, do something, do something. And I liked it. He was like Masvidal's, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. He says, do something. All he said was do something repeatedly and not take a step backwards. And Masvidal's like, regular people, hold me back, hold me back. In my opinion, Usman alphaed that confrontation. I don't know if other people saw it the same way, but I like that, hey, do something. You want to talk shit? I'm not taking one step backwards. Here I am. You want it? Here it is. Come and get it. Right? The Beatles said that, I think. So anyway, that was their confrontation. They've had kind of a rivalry online, real life, etc. Masvidal was going to fight this guy, and he wanted too much money. I like the drama of the fighting as much as the fighting almost. And he had previously fought Nate Diaz, and together they were both kind of like take no shit, street fight, East Coast, West Coast gangster kind of things. And they made something called the Bad Motherfucker title. And they fought for the BMF title. And Masvidal won, did great. And it was this big money event, big money fight. Even though they're not like the top of their weight class, it was a big money fight. Cool. Masvidal says, this is my new standard. You have to pay me that much every time. And the UFC is like, yeah, but like, bro, like this isn't as big a fight as that one. You had Nate Diaz as your dance partner. There was a lot of interest that there wouldn't normally be. Not so much this time. And Masvidal's like, well, suck a dick. I'm not fighting unless you pay a lot. Well, Gilbert Burns, who was going to fight next weekend, dropped out. He has corona. So they need a replacement. They need someone to save this card. This is the first card at UFC's Fight Island. They're trying to do something special here. And Masvidal's like, pay me, bitch. And the UFC is like, well, okay. So Masvidal stepped up. And this is a thing I like in a fighter. As much as I fuss at him, you know, he's like, you pay me and I'll fight. And he's going to, it would seem. They agreed.
On 6 days' notice, he's going to fight the fucking champion of the world, a bad motherfucker. And he doesn't seem like he's afraid. He seems super loose in all the interviews. Looks like he's having a great time. I'm really looking forward to it. I think he's got a shot. I
am so convinced he's going to lose. I was about to place my first big bet on fighting ever, right? I bet $5 on fighting. A big bet is normally 10. And I'm like, what if I drop 5 or 10,000 on this? Because I am sure Usman's going to win. And then I looked into it and I'm like, so you're telling me if I risk 10,000, I get like 2,500 back? Suck a dick. Like, I don't want that. I didn't realize how big an underdog Masvidal was.
Yeah, he's plus 240.
What's the...
Let's see.
That's the...
You risk 100 to win 240.
Go the other way.
Usman is the negative 300 favorite. Oh, wait.
So you risk 300 to get 100 back. So if I were to risk 9,000, I'd get 3,000 back. So I exaggerated a touch, but that's about right. Yeah, so you bet $9,000 and you get $3,000 profit. I was like, I don't know. That seems... the odds make my certainty less valuable.
Well, you could pick the round.
I don't have any certainty around that.
Yeah, then your odds go up. I bet picking Masvidal losing in round 1 would get you the odds you're looking for.
I hear you. I'm not sure there'll be a knockout like that, though. I think I think Usman's going to wrestle fuck him for as long as Masvidal can last, and then he wears out in 2 or 3, maybe. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a big card. It's not just that fight. I think Rose is on that card. I think Paige Van Zant is on that card.
Both underdogs, I think.
Yeah, which makes sense. I don't like Rose's chances. I never do, but particularly this time, I just feel like this whole Fight Island thing is going to be such a stressful situation that I don't think she does well in those. When there's outside stress, when there's stressors above and beyond the fact that you're about to get in the ring with a professional fighter and fight them in front of 1 million people, I don't think she deals well with that. And there's a lot of them. They're testing them like 4 fucking times for this. They get tested. They got tested in Vegas, and then they got tested as soon as they landed, and then they get tested the next day, and then the next day, like 4 total tests. And I watched them do the test. They really shoved that Q-tip back down their nose. At first, I was like, oh, this doesn't look so bad. And then he went, all right, here we go. I'm like, wait, you haven't started yet? Like, he was already to the back of the nose. He's like, okay, my friends, here we go. And just, like another 3 inches.
That does sound terrible.
Trump said it was really unpleasant. And someone in our $50 hangout had been tested. So I asked about it. And he acted like it wasn't a big deal. He said that in a day or two, it stopped hurting. That's what a big deal is, right? Yes, right?
That's pretty rough.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
I got my sight back within a week.
Yeah.
I can smell things again, mostly.
You had a very minor procedure, Kyle. It only took a week for the stitches to come out of your eye.
It's nonsense. It looks like a big deal. It sounds like a big deal. I would not want to get that test. And they're getting it 4 times in the space of a week. I wonder if you can pick a different nostril to go down. But, all right, no, you already got this one. You already got this one.
I bet you probably can. Or maybe you want to isolate all the damage to one, like cokeheads.
Decisions. Wait, is that what cokeheads do?
I made that up. I don't really know. I think it actually makes more sense to split the difference, so you're not destroying one and you don't get an Artie Lang nose.
Yeah, I don't think that it matters.
He was punched, right?
No, that's his nose bridge collapsed from snorting heroin and cocaine for years.
Are you 100% sure he wasn't punched?
Positive.
Okay.
I think he may have also gotten
probably
punched.
got punched. Yeah.
We've all seen plenty of people get punched in the nose. I've had mine broken. It don't look like Artie Lang's, all right? Like Artie Lang's just like his got punched and it was like it was made out of paper mache. It just went flat.
Probably combined. He had it repaired. He looks better now. On a scale of 1 to 10, he's gone from a 1 to like a 3. Like it doesn't look great, but it's improved. Let me see.
This is the worst nose I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so. Oh my God.
What's happening?
That photo is awful.
And he's like clean and sober from drugs for a while now at this point. So good for him.
I see one here, and they put a caption over that picture you just linked, but it says "worth it."
Worth it.
Where? Do you have it? I'm gonna look in 2020 maybe.
God.
Wow, you didn't even look for nose. I thought the Google search would be Artie Lang nose, but it's
Artie Lang.
That's just Artie Lang.
These are his best photos.
This is the best, or it was the most popular at least.
Okay, I see him now. He says he's 7 months sober here. This was actually in September of last year. Looks better. Looks better.
Can you link? I don't see it.
Yeah, I'll link you.
Oh wait, I found one. Ooh. Yours looks
he looks way better there
than mine.
Yeah, this is September of last year, so
that would probably be what he still looks like.
I thought people gained weight when they quit, like cocaine. What about?
He's definitely lost a lot.
Oh, I know. What about heroin? Does heroin make you gain weight, lose weight? And based on heroin junkies, I imagine it makes you lose weight.
Well, the thing about him is he's a wealthy heroin user, so it's not like he's having to cut anything out of his budget to afford the heroin.
That's true. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. So you can get, 2 extra large pizzas and some black tar heroin.
Yeah, and it's basically a tranquilizer, so he's just lying around all day, like not even sitting up to watch TV.
Not even sitting up to watch TV.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wouldn't it be nice to have a TV on the ceiling over the bed? Is that just me? It seems like it'd be cool.
I feel like it would get old real quick. I want one in my bathroom. I want one in my bathroom so that I can sit in my tub and watch it because I like to take baths.
That would be nice.
Seen that on the internet.
Earlier today. It was nice.
Did you? I haven't taken a bath in ages.
Yeah, my shoulder was hurting me, and so I put some like Epsom salt in there. And
was it from working out? Your shoulder?
It was, but it was like, it was like something probably related to working out that I irritated, and then I slept on it weird last night because like I couldn't work out yesterday, and I didn't work out today because of my foot. And but yeah, just out of nowhere, like I was moving something today, and it like twinged and felt weird. So it feels better now. Yeah, those baths really fucking help.
I felt like there was this period of time where I wasn't working out hard enough, right? I'm like, I'd maybe do some push-ups and pull-ups that day and decide it was okay to skip the actual workout because I had done something. And so anyway, that goes on. And I'm like, man, it's been like 10, 12 days since you actually pushed it, step it up. A few workouts later, my elbows are like, you proved your point, you asshole. Slow back down. It's too much. So we're ready to get back at it now.
Yeah, I was wanting to work out today because I felt guilty not being able to do it yesterday. But like, my girlfriend was even like, "Hey, you think that's smart? You just were squatting down to pet the dogs and you almost like fell over. So maybe you shouldn't go do farmers walks, and try and bench or do whatever I had on my schedule today.
She's right. You're still young, 29, right? But
better safe than sorry.
Add 6 years to that or something, and you'll be moderating to some extent. Like, you know what? Ounce of prevention, better than a pound of cure. Let's miss 1 workout so I don't miss 4.
Yep. Yeah, that's kind of the mentality. Is like I'll feel like such a fucking retard is if I'm like taking the turn in my basement with my farmer's walk handles, or if I'm like at the bottom of my squat and suddenly I'm putting a bunch of pressure on it and I like fail a lift or I end up exacerbating it. Like, I don't know. Those are the worst injuries. The ones where like your own pig-headedness makes it get worse. Because then the whole time you have to be like, oh man, that probably would have resolved itself a week and a half ago if you hadn't gone, retard mode.
Have you used straps on your rack instead of bars?
No, I only have bars.
Are your bars like long cylinders, or do they like clip onto the side?
No, they're long steel cylinders, like posts that you stick through the holes, whatever height level you want.
Yeah, mine are a pain in the ass.
Are they the straps or no?
No. So I was thinking about getting them. Anyway, what mine are now, they like go to the side, then you slide them over 2 inches and they click in. So they work great, but they're a pain to get lined up on both sides at the same time. And they're strong, but that brings them to a weight where they're just a little unwieldy. Like, I'm going to call them like 15 pounds. Can I lift 15 pounds? For sure. Do I have like dexterity where I can get things within an eighth of an inch when they're 15? Like that's like sort of suck. So I was thinking about getting something better. There's the steel ones you do. Will you put it through the first one, then just slide it all the way until it reaches?
It's so easy.
I should just upgrade. It'd be
that's just what mine came with. But yeah, they're slide them right out, pop them back in. They're only like as big around as this marker, and they are pretty like for what when you look at them, you don't think they're going to be as heavy as they are. It's really heavy metal. But then also it's like, you know what? This makes me feel a little better about the fact that if I drop all this weight, this metal's not going to bend or have any problems. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, because your girlfriend's not going to be able to save you.
No. I had a come to Jesus moment on a bench last week. I think it was Friday, where it was like the last one of the 5x5. And like, there was a point where I was like, this might not happen. and the door's closed down here and she's upstairs working out. She can't hear me. Like,
you didn't have the safety bars?
I did have the safety bars, but I've never, if I've had to rely on those, it's only happened like once. But like, it's basically like the bad part about mine is I don't know how much distance there is between where you can like stick the posts in, but like when my back is arched, my chest is out and I'm wanting to bench, like 6 is where I have to be, or 7 is where I should be if I want to totally be safe, if I were to drop it. But if I do 7, like I'm clanging before I hit the bottom of my chest. 6, it gives me the feeling of safety, but I also know in the back of my head, every time I'm putting it up, it's like, you're going to be kind of smushed.
Yeah.
At least. So
nothing like the illusion of safety.
Yeah. So like, no, I had to do that thing. Like I like lifted my ass up off the bench and like did a terrible, like dirty form lift right back up there. I was like, oh, fuck.
Mine is perfect. So if I can touch my nipples, which is about where I put it, and do push-ups benches, and it works fine. But if it goes at my neck, it doesn't touch my neck. So that's like the safety. Like I could drop it on my neck, and then I have to do this weird like turn my head sideways and slide out thing. But it works. It works, and it's safe.
With
and
my fat head, I try and do that, and it's just.
But with squats, my squat form has room for improvement. At getting really down low feels straining on my knees, but and where I want the bars that save me. But people use straps, and you can touch the strap, and it doesn't ruin everything. If you clank it even for just a second, it's really a big mess up. That's why I thought straps might be cool for squats in particular.
Yeah, I don't know what. I need to look up like what actual experts think about this, but I feel like I get less strain like when I do sumo squats instead of regular squats, where you just kind of like.
You don't go all the way down? Is that what a sumo squat is?
You're like, it's you know how like sumo wrestlers like put their feet far apart, like when they're about
to right.
So it's like a different range of motion. You know, I still do regular squats, but there's something about sumo squats that feel more natural and easier for me. I don't know.
The whole form stuff. So like I watched, it might've been Eddie Hall's, deadlift attempt, right? He put his legs, you know how if you do a deadlift, right? For me anyway, like you work, and then the last 6 inches are easy. You just kind of like straighten up, right?
Yeah, once you get past that hinge point.
Yeah. So Eddie Hall, he looks short to me, I can't tell. And he has his legs so far apart. He's 6'3"?
He's very wide.
Yeah. You see him standing next to the mountain and you're like, man, that guy's not very big. Oh no, wait, that guy's 7 feet tall.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. So it happens with NBA coaches too. Like, oh yeah, that guy's like me, 6'4". So anyway, yeah, it looked to me like he put his legs so wide, all he had to do was like hinge forward his waist, and he did a deadlift. And I'm like, should that be legal? It seemed like it was cheats of some sort, but
who's gonna tell him that? I'm not.
No. I mean, back when I thought he was 5'10", I thought maybe I'd step up, but but not anymore.
But now that I know that powerlifting champion isn't shorter than me,
now that I know the 2017 world's strongest man,
when you're fighting a powerlifting champion, those extra 2 inches really important.
That's what I'm saying.
A little bit of reach, and you just gotta keep him at arm's length, you know?
It sounds like he wants to fight the mountain. Have you heard him lately talk about that sort of thing?
That would be good publicity. I mean, the mountain would win.
I think so too.
How do we know that these people have any fighting skill whatsoever or any cardio to even speak of?
Dude, it's cardio to carry a 500-pound bag of beans or whatever the fuck the competition is 100 yards and back while a not that big crowd is cheering you on.
I'd like to see him jog a mile.
Jog a mile? I bet they do shit like that, I bet.
I doubt it.
You know what? I agree with you now. They probably don't.
I feel like if they would have run it all, that
it would look so silly too.
It looks silly, but I think they'd injure themselves, and that's just not what they're going for.
You'd be like looking in your cup of water, like in Jurassic Park. you know that they were coming.
Eddie Hall's coming.
Now I want to
remember, Woody, work the jab.
Oh God!
They must do some cardio stuff though, because like it is really hard cardio to flip a semi tire or whatever those monster truck tires are, like for 5 minutes on end or 3 minutes on end. That may not seem like that. That is cardio. That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a different kind of cardio. I'm talking about like steady state cardio. I don't think they do any of that.
Short burst cardio.
More high intensity stuff.
Don't some of these guys feel like cardio undoes their gains? Like, isn't that
it does undo gains?
Yeah,
it can be. Well, like if the goal is to put on mass, it only undoes gains if it eats into your caloric intake for the day. So like if you're trying to build a bunch of mass and you eat 2,500 calories in that day and you run enough to kill 600 of those or 500 of those, like, yeah, of course that's bad for getting size.
So that makes sense. But let me just pitch this thought. What if you're trying to make your legs stronger so that you can succeed in the world's strongest man competition, and you're using whatever like recovery you would have had on some of that mile run or 2 mile run, right? You might want to devote all your attention to squats and not do mile runs because that's more relevant for the way you compete.
Yeah, I think that makes sense too. Like if you know the competition, at no point are they like, all right, Thor, surprise 100-meter relay. Like
hurdles.
They're like, all right, get it? We've got an actual pig still alive. He's a mean motherfucker. You got to catch him, take him down. He's 415 pounds, you know, and like whatever it would be. You know, well, actually, no, that's a bad example. That's a lot of cardio. Those things are quick.
Dude, I really want you to add that to the competition. Greased pig catching.
That'd be fun. When I was a little kid and did like the little kids rodeo, Kyle, you might have done something like this, where like you go and then you have to try and catch the sheep or like ride the sheep. I was like maybe like 6 years old, and all they did is they like put you in that little cage thing for the rodeo. They put you on the back of the sheep, you hold on to the wool, and then they let you out, and then it runs around everywhere, and you have to stay on for however long, and then you get I won $1, and got a blue ribbon for that. still it's around here somewhere.
That ribbon was for the pig. Taylor just kept it.
Wow, USDA Prime. Just let the feller have it. You know what? You have $1 too.
Your memory of it is of winning.
There is a photo of me standing there with my little cowboy hat and my spurs on, holding up a certificate.
Look at the marbling on that big-headed boy.
Yeah. So anyway, no memories. Oh, good Lord. Already get your nose fixed.
So bad.
It's really rough.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this UFC event, though. I wish there'd been one this past weekend. My dad came over this weekend, and I assumed there would be. There's been one like every Saturday for weeks. It felt like, but there was not.
Yeah, they've been pretty active. I compliment them on keeping it going.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
I'm sure the fighters are happy that they're all still getting paid. The UFC is not doing great financially, but probably better than not holding events.
Yeah, definitely better than if they were shut down right now.
And it might be good for them to exist in this void of sports.
It's got to be.
There's nothing else going on.
Mm-hmm.
Football seems to be getting ready. I don't know what their plan is. Are they going to have crowds?
Someone said they were going to have CGI crowds. Or maybe they were going to do something like maybe they were going to have like cardboard cutouts and pipe in fake like audio of the crowd cheering.
That'd be fun.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think the NBA is going to succeed in finishing up this season? I feel like no one's going to honor this bubble. No one fucks more than NBA players. Maybe I just made that up. And
rock stars.
Say it again.
Rock stars. Rapists.
Okay. NBA players
Sexy
are
children
amongst the elite. And, I just don't think they're rule followers when it comes to things like COVID restrictions. And that all it takes is one guy and he'll quickly infect 13 more and it'll be a problem.
That already happened with the Blues. They're supposed to start the NHL back up in like a couple weeks, and at least four players on the Blues tested positive, and our coach tested positive. And so that might be all she wrote for our season. If they're like literally saying, hey, St. Louis, you can't play.
Yeah,
these 5
I haven't missed it at all. I'm so glad. Like obviously I don't care about any sport really other than the UFC. So it's really tickled me to see everybody just shut down and all these poor athletes just have to sit in their mansions and cry. It's been fun. I see LeBron James doing a bunch of charity work because he's a goody two shoes. It's nice to see him doing that, I suppose. But I don't give a fuck if there's a NASCAR. Well, I think NASCAR is racing, but I don't give a fuck if there's a baseball season. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care.
I don't care about baseball either. I
looked. The Sixers were fourth most likely to win it this year. So I kind of wanted look.
Based on what?
538's ranking of strengths of schedules and players and this and that, and they had them fourth. It helps that they're not even the fourth best team, but they're from the East, so
they should just have a gigantic playoff. Like forget the whole season and let's just do a big playoff with all the seasons, with all the players. I mean, not all the fucking teams.
I'm a little confused.
All the teams, okay.
Yeah, just play for the championship. Whittle it down that way. Don't do a season. Just let everybody compete in a big bracketed tournament.
They're doing something similar to that. They're finishing up the last like 6 games of the season, so it'll be 20 short maybe. I'm making up these numbers, but they're about right. And then they'll do the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just don't care. I just really don't.
Well, I want to win. The Sixers and I have been
Does
trading.
it even mean as much if a full season wasn't completed to determine the outcome?
It still does. Like every league has.
If like my team won after playing like a 30-game season, like I mean,
that happened to Chicago in 2013. They were,
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I made that 1913 in my head, and I'm like, that fucker knows that. Carry on.
No. 2013, they won the Stanley Cup, and it was after only a 48-game season instead of an 82-game season. But in that situation, the playoffs was exactly the same. It was a normal playoff year. So I can see if a team wins, people being like, we'll never know. But also, it's like come on, every team was in the same situation.
Yeah, but it's less valid. You know, there's like you know, if you don't play the full season, injuries don't come into play, wear and tear doesn't come into play, endurance doesn't come into play.
It's a different thing. So here's why I think it is valid. But like the Sixers, for example, are benefiting a lot because some of their stars were really hurt, and now they all got a chance to fully recover and then kick off, a few games and then playoffs. So they're going to benefit from this. On the other hand, everyone's playing by the same rules, and that's why I think it's valid. Whatever benefit or whatever the opposite of a detriments the Sixers had applied to the whole league. So it's a champ.
I'll be happy when hockey comes back no matter what, even if the Blues get trounced because if our whole top line's sick or whatever it is. That'll really stink, because if they're like, the only good case scenario is if like, all right, these were AHL guys and we sent them back to San Antonio or whatever the hell our AHL team is now. But I just know it's going to be like, oh, it's Tarasenko and Ryan O'Reilly and our head coach and our good goalies, both of them.
Wait, is Tarasenko going to make it back?
Yeah. I mean, he recovered from, he was scheduled to come back to the NHL 2 games after they canceled it. Like he was pretty much 100% ready to come back. And then they're like, nope, you can't play because nobody's playing. So
maybe it. Oh, I was looking at the other way. Maybe it'll help him, right? Like
maybe I don't know. Some of these guys play.
You got a team making a playoff push. You're going to bring him back at the first possible reasonable moment. Now he got a few extra weeks to get doubly healed, and
that's the glass half full option. I like that one better. You're right.
Yeah.
Him coming out there and just being so unfamiliar with it that he's kind of panics, but he's a professional athlete. He knows what he's doing better than I do.
Yes. Yeah. It's funny, like in the UFC in particular, you watch him fight, you watch game day, and then you're kind of disengaged from the recovery from that. But these guys, it's brutal. Dustin Poirier, he's just been out of sight, out of mind for me for a year or so. Fucker had hip reconstruction surgery or something. That's a big deal, right? Imagine this professional athlete on the freaking, what are they, parallel bars, like walking, trying to regain strength in his legs and feet. And, I don't see him until I see the finished product where he just won a great, great fight.
It's a great fight.
Yes, fight of the year candidate. But what they do behind the scenes to put that show on, it's brutal. They earn their money. God.
I saw Khabib's dad died.
Yes, he did.
Too bad.
Connor, I think, said it was a hoax. But
he said that before the guy died.
Yes. But Khabib proved him wrong.
It'd be funny if let me see the body.
He should retweet the hoax thing. Actually, that is a good line. That's funny.
What if he just went on a crazy trolling binge where it was just like pictures of him on Instagram, like, we're gonna go find that body, and he's got a shovel.
I think
he's got his passport and a shovel.
Dude, that would be on brand for him too, right? Like he attacks his dad, his whatever, his wife, like
we're gonna go dig him up.
To be like, no, Connor would show respect.
He's got a little brush and dustpan. like he's been dead for 100 years.
He's like a monocle inspecting. He's
got like a Colonel Mustard looking.
If he wants a fight, that might help him get it. Right? And so for people to know the background, Khabib fought Connor. Khabib choked him out. Now Connor would like a rematch. Khabib is like, go earn a rematch. Go beat someone relevant. Make yourself number one. I'll get to you when you've earned it. Well, Connor could earn it by doing Kyle's plan. It would work.
Go dig that fucker up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, bury like a plastic skeleton. Oh, found him.
Yeah, we're here in Dagestan.
He's wearing a shirt that says he's gay.
He's Muslim, yeah.
Skin.
Dude, if Connor did that, that'd be fire.
Instead, he respect to a great martial artist, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
It's never too late to change.
I'd have doubled down. He really should have doubled down and brought out the shovel. That would have been fucking hilarious.
Dude, doubling down, I feel like Trump has shown us that doubling down is an effective thing, right? You say something, you're kind of in the wrong according to popular opinion, you just double down, and it's like, oh, it's almost like we can't win unless he lets us.
Part of it is just letting news cycles change, because I mean, like the news, there's way too much news constantly, and so like after 4 hours, they'll be like, actually, there's this other thing that we're entirely speculating on, but it doesn't matter because CNN and Fox are already on it, which means we need to hop on it too. We're ABC. We need to get our ratings in.
Understanding that this all blows over in a week is something that YouTubers knew, but politicians didn't seem to do that. They always try to go into damage control, and damage control makes if you're explaining, you're losing.
Yeah. Did you follow that whole? I definitely don't know any of the actors, but the Smash Brothers players that were like with all the underage kitty diddling and such. Did you follow any of that?
I haven't looked into it. This seems like the kind of thing
man.
Like Mr. Medicare would do a deep dive on. But I did hear the story that apparently there's multiple professional Smash players that are creepy and doing pedophile stuff.
Yeah, I shouldn't even talk about it because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I don't know their names, so it probably doesn't matter. Yeah. It seemed like, because I was just reading it right before I went under anesthesia, so it's possible that my memory is also a little corrupted. Yeah, but it seemed to me that there was, first of all, I don't know, they're all going, instead of being like, Brian Williams apparently is accused of doing X, Y, and Z with Stacey Jameson. It's like, Poon Smasher 6737 did this with Koodle Koodle, and I'm just like, I don't know the fuck these are, or if these are men or women. Like based on their fucking in-game name is so fucking goofy that you can't even tell if it's a guy or a girl. But it seemed to me that a 20-year-old girl was fucking a 15-year-old guy, and there was a bunch of text messages talking about it, and a lot of people knew about it. But I don't know. It just seems like it's fun to see all the people getting canceled and getting called out for just all the fuckery that's apparently been going on for years. Anybody and everybody who did anything is getting accused. The guy from Mythbusters, his sister came out and accused him of raping her when they were kids.
Which one?
Mythbusters guy? The one that's I like, I don't like.
The one that you like.
Oh no!
Wait,
yeah.
You like the funny one or the sciencey one?
I like the one that wears the hat.
The sciencey one.
The bald guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie.
No. The funny one, then. Okay. The one with the red beard, or it used to be red.
Okay.
His sister said he raped her?
Yeah, repeatedly when they were kids.
With his penis Christ. Or some like other form of rape?
All the kinds.
He goes the spacey route. I've been accused of raping my own sister. What you don't know is I'm very, very gay. This myth has been busted.
Oh, Jesus. No. Pull out the metal sign.
Myth sign up busted. There. Hi, today I'm here with Derek and Tori, and we're going to test if I rape my sister.
So here's a childlike doll that we brought in that's the approximate size of my sister at that age. Now I'm going to try to rape her.
Now here's the second doll. The size of it is just had these ready.
Come on in, kids.
Yeah. Come on in, kids. No, this is in the name of science. It's like you're erect. Stop it.
You know what? I saw a Reddit article today, and I couldn't agree more. They were talking about how you can't even talk to children now without like looking weird. They were saying that Leonardo DiCaprio was at I want to say at a tennis tournament or something, and he was talking to a 12-year-old girl, a fan, and just like talking to her. They were both in the stands, and people were calling him out for that being inappropriate. And they're like, look, he's taking time out of whatever Leonardo DiCaprio's fucking schedule is to talk to a fan. Like he doesn't have his arm around her. He's not sniffing her like Joe Biden. He's having an innocent conversation in a massively public sports arena. Like nothing is going wrong here. I couldn't agree more. I drove home 2-3 days ago or something like that, and my neighbor's daughter and two daughters like come running up to my car in my driveway, and I can't tell kids' ages, but I'm gonna guess like 8, like 8, 9 years old. These little girls, and they're just like, hey, you know how kids are. Like they've got no shame or like any sort of social skills. There's hey, you live here? And I'm like, yep. Who you live with? And I'm just like, I live alone. You live in that big house all by yourself? Yeah, pretty much. I live here. And I'm like, yeah, I know. We're building a fort in my bedroom. And I'm like, this is getting a little awkward. I don't know if we need to talk about your bedroom fort. Yeah, well, that's cool. I'm gonna sit here but I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, does it look more creepy if I sit in the car with sunglasses on, or if I get out and I stand over them, right? I don't know what looks more creepy, and I've got to keep my sunglasses on because my eye looks like fucking Frankenstein, especially 3 days ago. I don't want to freak these little kids out by taking the glasses off and be like, ah, and give them the evil eye.
No?
Kids.
I think you should have smelled her hair. It's presidential.
Oh God. I wanted to get away from them so badly, but I didn't want to be rude at the same time. And eventually, their dad saw them talking to me and was like, "Rochelle, get over here!" And I was like, I'm glad he didn't yell at me like that.
Did you want to get away from them because 8-year-old girls are not interesting to you and you have nothing in common because you're a grown man, or because of the appearance of pedophiles talk to 8-year-old
totally
girls?
The appearance of like talking to my neighbor's little children and how that could be perceived. Like I would happily have sat there and talked to them because, like, you know, I don't know, it was fun to talk to them.
Nobody else asks you who your favorite lizard is.
Yes, exactly. Like I was leaving the house, like I went in, like picked something up, and then I was leaving to go to Kitty's house to take it to her. And so I was immediately right back out there with them, and they start chasing the car. Hey! And I'm just like, oh, I guess I gotta stop. I can't just drive away. So I stopped. I turned the AC down. I rolled the window down. I'm like, hey, what's up? And she's like, where are you going? And I'm like, my friend's house. She goes, who's your friend? Like, how do I fucking answer this? Like, I gotta go. I gotta go, children.
Goodbye, kids. Goodbye. Don't say goodbye, children.
I was thinking, like, what's the creepiest thing I could do? What if I was like, hop in the car, I'll take you too.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, you can't talk to children as a grown man anymore.
Yeah. But
Man, I don't really want to talk to kids anyway.
I do want to talk to kids. Like, I don't want any kids. I don't want them in my house. I don't want my own kids, but I happily talk to children. You know, like I got a problem. They're innocent. They're funny. They got their little quirky senses of humor. Everything you say is funny and interesting to them.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
The smallest amount of alcohol gets them so messed up. Like they don't even
cheap dates. Yeah.
Not even hard alcohol.
just a little homemade apple cider.
Cool. I mean, in my experience, you throw a 6-pack in the back of the van, 6 or 7 of them all get drunk. PKN 307.